Hey y'all, I'm going to talk about how to actually save 15% of your income for your investments. I think it's so important, and many of us forget about this. And I talk about this a lot on this channel in terms of thinking about saving for your long-term future. 15% is a good amount, so 10 to 20% is probably an excellent amount for saving for your future, but not a lot of people actually talk about how to actually do it. So I want to talk about how to actually do it. So if you don't know me, I'm Professor Dave Maslach. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor forward to help you out. So investing for the future is actually a really tricky thing, but in a lot of ways it's not. I think behaviorally we sort of get mixed up with figuring out or thinking that investing for the future has to be really tricky, and that there's all these sort of sophisticated things that you have to do, and that there's all these magic tricks that you have to do along the way to get wealthy. But really, there's not a lot to investing. The biggest thing with investing, 10 to 15%, I'm going to say 15% because I think that this is a good amount of your income. So this is your total income that you have. So for example, say you're making $30,000 a year, then you take 15% of that amount and invest it. So it'd be easier for me to think of like $100,000. I know it's a lot, but a $100,000 income for your total family. What you want to be looking at is investing about 15% of that. So $15,000 of the total amount that you're bringing in. So how do you actually do that? Seems like a daunting thing. The easiest thing to do it is to actually do it. And so what do I mean by that? It means living in off of a very small amount of what you're actually bringing in. So aim for, say, for example, your family has two incomes that are coming in. So aim for one person, you're just living off of one person's income. Or aim for the fact that you're just going to not actually spend a lot of what you actually bring in. So that's the reason why we don't drive. I mean, my wife has a nice car, but I drive around in this Mazda. It's a 2011 Mazda. Shop at Walmart. And when you're shopping at Walmart, go and just buy bulk items and things like that are very inexpensive. Get your pleasures from things that are less, not tied to money, but tied to things where you just get pure joy from, like walking. It seems like an interesting thing where walking is sort of below us, right? We have to go to movie theaters. We have to go to, I know it's kind of strange right now to talk about that, but we have to go out for a fancy dinner. We have to go out clubbing for anything that we're going to get pleasure from. But in reality, a lot of things in life are very inexpensive, where you can do things just for the sake of you doing them for having fun. So going and actually getting a board game, for example, and having fun watching that. I mean, Netflix is really inexpensive, and you can live off of Netflix in terms of watching your entertainment. So there's a lot of things where it is very inexpensive to live life, and you have to have that sort of mentality that I'm going to live inexpensively for a long time. So to give you an example, my mom and my dad, they were wonderful role models in terms of doing this. With a large family, there was 5 of us kids and one income, and we were a union family. So my mom and my dad, they lived in a garage. They actually lived in a garage for I think it was a significant period of time, but those are the things that you have to sort of do. Always getting secondhand vehicles until you actually get to the point where you can actually spend money, right? I think that's the important thing is making sure that you are always being active in terms of thinking about what you're spending money on. My wife and I, we still do a budget meeting. So it's Valentine's Day right now, right? So 2021 Valentine's Day. Our date was actually sitting down. I know we're total nerds. Our date was sitting down and going through our budget today. It was kind of nice to do those things. Like actually thinking about sort of your finances for the future is really the important step of going forward to saving money and building wealth for a long-term game. And so this is easy to say right now, right? The hard part is actually doing this every day and doing it every day for not a year, not 5 years, not 10 years, but decades of doing this day in and day out, where you are building wealth for a long time, where you get in the mindset of constantly thinking about how do I save money? How do I focus on reducing the amount that I'm spending, but at the same time thinking about how can I increase my income? And so increasing your income is pretty simple because you have to focus on courses, building your skill set, your capabilities, your whatever it is that you are working on, and invest in things that are actually truly going to provide value in the long run. Whatever those courses are and whatever you're looking at, and you constantly are building that skill set so you can increase the revenue that you bring in and reduce the costs of your actual expenditures every day. So I know that this is not something that you want to hear at this moment. Many of you are thinking like this is kind of boring stuff, but I think this is very important in terms of a message to do well in the long term, and always be focusing on building your wealth for the future and saving for the future. So with that, that's all I'm going to say. Thank you so much. Take care and have a wonderful day.